Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fights in the first, part of Zatch Bell, the first arc of Zatch Bell. Zeno, the goat, versus Robs, the Pokemon. Really one of my favorite fights just because it's one of the only fights we get with Zeno, unfortunately. It's really just Zeno versus Robs and then Zeno versus Zatch / everyone. Maybe there's some more fights in the manga, but in the anime, this is the only Zeno fight we actually get. I mean, we get to see Zeno taking Zatch's memories away, but he basically just puts his hand on his head and uses some lightning. We're actually going to be showcasing Zeno's bag. We're going to be showcasing his fighting abilities, his fighting prowess, alongside with his partner, Dufaux, who is one of the most top-tier humans in Zatch Bell. Kiyomaru, by the end of the series, catches up to him, but like Kiyomaru, when he fights Dufaux, I feel like Dufaux was still leagues ahead of Kiyomaru, just because he has the answer talker ability, and that's like a magical power for a human being to have in this world. There's very little things like that in the world. Dufaux actually helps Kiyomaru with his answer talker ability. He helps teach it to him. If you've read the story, you know Dufaux becomes a good guy. Well, he is a good guy at the end. He's like going around the world and saving people pretty much with his answer talker ability. He does, obviously, during the Clear Note arc, he helps the main cast develop their powers. He helps Brago out in a big way. I know this is like not what the video should be about, but he helps Brago learn how to use the gravity of the earth, which is some shit. But for today's video, we're going to be starting at level 75, or chapter 75, Gaseous Cold, and we're not going to talk too much about this. Basically, Zatch has a little bit of fever, and he wants to go to school with Kiyomaru. He loves going to school with Kiyomaru. Eventually, he ends up in the nurse's office because he passed out, I think, like right in front of everybody at school. But at the end of this chapter, Apollo, Robs' partner, comes to visit Kiyomaru at school to tell him that he got defeated and Robs is back in the Moto world. Chapter 76, A Difference in Strength. Remember with Apollo's story, he was basically traveling around because he was the son of the CEO and he wasn't ready to assume that responsibility yet. We see here that he has assumed that responsibility because he lost in the battle from Motokin. He confirms what Robnos told Kiyomaru. There's a lookalike Zatch. Kiyomaru was kind of shook here because Apollo was telling him that 3 weeks ago they ran into the Zatch lookalike, they ran into Zeno, and Zeno cooked them. 3 weeks ago, they were traveling in Holland. They're actually walking behind Zeno, and they just see his aura, which is insane. Aura farming out the gate. Apollo thinks he sees Gash here. He thinks he sees Zatch. I don't know why, because Zeno has white hair and Zatch has blonde hair. This is going hard in the manga, fam. Zeno is obviously heated because he does not fuck with Zatch. He's saying, "Who's the one who mistook me for that imbecile?" The aura coming off Zeno is some shit. The protagonist aura is like the bubbles, but this is like some smoky ass aura. Once Zeno turns around and Apollo sees his eyes and sees his aura, Apollo realizes he's cooked because this boy is kind of different. This boy is Zeno. Zeno asks if they battled Gash because they obviously recognized him, and Zeno starts talking shit because Apollo says, yeah, but they were really strong, so they tied. I feel like Apollo would probably won, but Apollo was kind of holding back, in my opinion. But he says they tied, and Zeno's talking shit because he thinks Zatch is a weakling, obviously. Yeah, Apollo tries to walk away because Zeno is really just talking shit at this point, and, he's making them feel bad and shit. But then Zeno calls them naive because they think they can run away from these hands. Hell no. He summons Dufaux, and Dufaux is aura farming with a hot dog, aura farming with a glizzy. Looking crispy in the manga, not gonna lie. For some reason, Zeno didn't just attack them right in public there, which I don't know why Zeno cares. Like, that's kind of a missed opportunity there. Like, they were in public. I don't know why Zeno let them change locations, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But they changed locations to this windmill area, and we get into the battle. Apollo actually kicks things off here. Kicks things off with a Riguron. Pretty sure that's Rob's first spell. Basically just flinging some wood at him, some lumber, seeing how they're going to respond. This is actually such an aura farm moment because they realize that none of the wood is going to hit them, so they don't even move. They're so lit. Why Apollo is using bluffs in a battle like this is beyond me. He was like testing their power for some reason. I don't know why he would like hold back for any reason. But yeah, Zeno and Dufaux just aura farming through Apollo's attack. I'm not mad at it. We get to see how Zeno is different from Zatch. Remember, Zatch is a mouth attack type guy, with his Zakaru, and his eyes go white when he uses most of his spells. But Zeno is not a mouth attack type guy. He's a hand attack type guy, if that's even what it's called. But he uses his hand to fire his Zakaru. And I actually like how they do it in the anime. I actually like Dufaux's voice in the anime, the dub, I think. It's also just like aura how Dufaux holds his book, because he doesn't even open the book up.
Zeno.
He just like keeps it closed and like more secure than most people keep it. I don't know how he can use it with the book closed. I don't really think it matters. Apollo realizes it's the same spell that Zatch uses, but his lightning blast is much stronger, which it is, and faster too, which it is. He just destroys one of these windmills with a single Zakaru. Apollo showing a little bit of his bag as well. Remember, Apollo's kind of nasty as a human being. He has some decent Ultra Instinct, but not as good as Dufaux's, as we'll come to find out. He's using a little bit of Ultra Instinct to dodge some of this debris. He goes for the book instead of Zeno with another Riguron, but wow, I don't even think they showed us this in the anime. Zeno uses his mantle. Zatch learns how to use his mantle like this after he defeats Zeno, but he extends his mantle to block the Riguron. And Apollo was hella shook because he blocked his attack from far away with his mantle. Zeno pulls up right in front of him. Like Apollo was trying to use double team right here, the Pokemon ability, but Zeno is just like steadily following him with his hand. He goes for a Zakaru right on this boy Apollo's head, but Apollo calls for a Riguron. He casts a Riguron and he's able to get out of the way with that. But then Zeno grabs the rope and he's reeling him in with Riguron's rope. He was seconds away from delivering the killing blow on Rops, but Apollo actually puts his own life at risk to save Rops from Zeno's Zakaru. Apollo basically just saying that there's too much of a difference in strength between Zeno and himself, and Zeno goes back to talking shit. Look at the small fries acting all tough. He tells Dufaux to hop in the battle here. Dufaux is just chilling back. I mean, there are only a handful of humans who can really box like this, who can really hold their own. I wouldn't even put Kiyomaru on that list till the end of the series because the answer talker. It would be Dufaux, Megumi, and Apollo. Those are probably the top 3 humans in the series. Zeno is actually kind of recognizing Apollo's ability as a human being by asking Dufaux to jump in as well. Until level 77, a heart that never falters. Apollo was telling Kiyomaru how what he sensed from Dufaux sent a chill down his spine. Dufaux's backstory real quick, he was basically in this CIA type torture program pretty much. He got put through a bunch of different experiments and tests. He was like, I'm surprised Dufaux can even operate in society at all. I'm surprised it didn't break his mind. He's the top 1 human being in the series, I'm not gonna lie to you. Rops uses Riguron on Dufaux. This is actually pretty nice in the anime though, because Dufaux is using his answer talker ability, aka Ultra Instinct. This is actually not Riguron. Rops uses a higher level spell, Rigurosen, which is multiple ropes, right? There's like arrowheads or some shit on this on these ropes, and they're wondering how they're gonna respond to this spell. But Apollo was not expecting this. Dufaux just walks right through it, dodging Rigurosen as he's walking, completely unfazed when he's getting tagged a little bit. Apollo is just hella shook now because he does not understand how Dufaux could possibly be doing this. He's really tweaking out now, saying stay away, yelling stay away from me. Goes for another spell, another Riguron. Rops chucking some wood at him. And it's basically the same shit. He is just aura farming through this shit using UI to just dodge all the shit. Apollo was saying he's predicting his every movement and attacking accordingly, but yeah, Dufaux is predicting your predictions. Dufaux is just hella clean, man. Like I said, he's top 1 human in the show. Aesthetically and just character-wise, I love his character arc, how he was tortured and all that shit. That sounds psychopathic, but he really is a good guy at the end of the day because he goes around the world helping people. Apollo was really tweaking out though because he can't hit Dufaux, and Dufaux is just aura farming, like I said, not even showing the slightest bit of fear. I mean, Apollo was really trying to kill this guy, it seems like, because he goes for probably the strongest spell here. Dino Rigunon, however you say that. But just some big ass chains and anchors, picking up giant ass boulders. Remember, up until now, Zeno has just been fighting without his partner's advice or his partner's input. and he basically picks out like a weak point in this giant ass attack coming towards him. Dufaux calls for a Zakaru, and he pierces right through the chains instead of through the rocks, which is the smart thing to do, so they all just come crashing down essentially. He uses Zakaru to slightly alter the spell's trajectory, which has Apollo tweaking out even more. Apollo sees the writing on the walls here. Remember, this is just the first spell for Zeno and Zatch. Zakaru. Zeno and Dufort are completely unharmed, just aura farming through all the shit. They start approaching Apollo and Robs. They're so sinister, fam. And Apollo wants to get out of there. Apollo wants to dip. He's saying there's no way they can win this battle, but Dufaux is saying, run where? Dufaux is lit, fam. Oh, he literally backed them into a corner. I forgot it happened like this, but yeah. That's some shit, yo. Zeno and Dufaux IQ. Dufaux's IQ is really high, and then Zeno is just so malicious. So it's not like Zeno is dumb either. He got trained in the royal arts, the royal demon arts. But yeah, Apollo, you have nowhere to go, fam. You have absolutely nowhere to go. Dufaux starts choking Apollo out. The scariest thing of all is that no matter what kinds of horrors come your way, your heart never falters. Level with me, Dufaux. Beneath that cold-blooded mask, how much tremendous hatred do you keep hidden away? This is actually getting to Dufaux a little bit because Apollo just predicted this man's backstory. Dufaux was not fucking with that shit. Smacks him. Or just tosses his ass away. The life from their book. How did it get so massive? Because you brought up his backstory, fam, and he actually opened it. I forgot about this. Dufaux got hella heated there. He was about to go for a powerful ass spell. GIGA.
Your book is glowing like crazy. GIGA.
What?
But Zeno does not fuck with lower class people. Lower class motto, he's saying, don't get serious on trash like them. It's a waste of strength. Zeno, fam. Dufaux calls for another Zakaru. And then that's it, fam. That is just it. Doesn't even go for Apollo, just goes right for their book. Zeno uses Zakaru on the book, and they're like having kind of a heartfelt goodbye, right? But then Zeno does it again.
Another one.
So that Robs disappears more quickly. Yo, that's some shit. Apollo just calling them bastards, but fam, they might mark you. They might use Zakaru on you. That's basically the end of Zeno versus Robs. That moment at the end.
GIGA.
What?
About to use a more powerful spell, GIGA. I think that's like a couple tiers, a couple levels above Zakaru. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about the battle. Let me know what battle you want me to do next. I just had to talk about Zeno, fam. Zeno and Dufaux were my favorite characters for years, until I read the end of Zatch Bell. We haven't got to see Zeno or Claire now in Zatch Bell 2, unfortunately. But yeah, Prince Polo is pretty hyped to me, so let me know who your favorite character is in Zatch Bell. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great time. Thanks again.